The journey to E3 2019 has already begun. We've got our maps out, we're charting a course, we've even run into a few milestones with that Roller Champions leak, the Witcher 3 leak, but today is an important one as we look ahead to the massive mountains and the beautiful vistas that lie in June. Because today we're bringing you 10 big E3 predictions for 2019. Make sure to let us know your E3 predictions in the comments down below. What do you predict for Nintendo at the year's biggest show?
Zach, my first prediction is that I'm going to beat you again because I demolished you last year as far as prediction goes. This guy thought that they were going to talk about Metroid. Like, come on, Zach.
You were surprisingly very accurate last year.
I crushed you.
I give you much applause, much credit. You did a really good job.
Thank you.
And we're going to see how we fare this time around. 5 predictions each. Let's roll right into it.
All right, Zach, for number 1. I'm going to go with a carryover from last year. Last year felt like the year of Pikmin. And since that didn't happen, I guess this just now becomes the year of Pikmin. The game's been done apparently since the Wii U. It just never got put out. What if they just put out a Wii U game as a new game?
No.
No, of course it has been moved over to Nintendo Switch. We know that. But even if it is just a Pikmin 3 remake, or not remake, or re-release, a deluxe version, I don't know what they end up calling it. Even that would count for this. I think something Pikmin is happening on Switch this year, and I've honestly been thinking that this is going to happen for a long time. This has to be the year at this point, right?
I really hope so. I've been counting on Pikmin for a while. It's taught me to not count on Pikmin, though, because as you mentioned, it's been discussed and it's been finished for a long time, and we've seen nothing. You're right, though. It could go either way. Maybe it's a Pikmin 3 deluxe version. Maybe it's Pikmin 4. I super duper hope it's the latter. It seems like they have kind of slowed down on the Wii U ports a bit, so I hope that we get something brand new. I don't know. They're clearing the way, Gabe. You know, they had their Mario Maker 2 Direct. They had an upcoming Pokemon Sword and Shield event. They've got a lot of time, a lot of space. Maybe they do have some games that are complete surprises that are even ready to go for 2019.
Yeah, I really hope so. That would be my hope, right? Announce Pikmin, release it this year. This kind of like conflicts a little bit with another prediction of mine. You know, we'll get into that a little bit later because I do think they need something big multiplayer for the year. And Pikmin doesn't quite fit, although the Pikmin 3 multiplayer is like mad. Fantastic. It's underrated, right?
It's so underrated. It's one of my favorite multiplayers of that entire generation, yeah.
But regardless, Zach, I think it's time to go back to the garden.
All right, yeah, you're slipping a bit. Already kind of contradicting predictions, Gabe. I don't know.
That's me.
My first prediction is that Luigi's Mansion 3 ends up being a showstopper. This game comes out at E3 in a much bigger way than maybe we're kind of expecting. I think it has multiplayer. I think they have a pro controller ready for it. I think that the size and scope of the game will surprise us, and it is going to vault to the top of many people's list for what they're most excited for on Switch. I feel like right now it's got hype, but it's kind of under the radar. Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and Mario Maker 2 are definitely the top dogs in this kennel. But I feel like sometimes you have a surprise puppy or kitten in the corner that maybe is a little ruffled, maybe a little scraggly, turns out to be the cutest cat or dog of all. And that's Luigi's Mansion 3. I really feel like this game is going to home run it and be something that surprises us all and delights me personally because it is single player focused with that multiplayer. And plus, I get a new pro controller.
That's where you lose me a little bit, right? Because I fully believe that Luigi's Mansion 3 could be this, showstopper, like you said. Maybe it is way bigger, right? We've speculated, and other people have speculated about a hotel. How cool would that be? A haunted hotel.
The coolest.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I'm gonna go through every single floor in that hotel. Do you think that they have the 13th floor? Oh man,
I don't know. The Tower of Terror, the elevator is going to rise and drop. What I want is an EGAD paranormal podcast that you find, like audio logs that you find within the hotel, and you like put them on. They're like little 5-minute stories of weird, spooky Mushroom Kingdom activities.
You spoke about this, a little bit, right? But multiplayer is something that's missing. Maybe they could do a big multiplayer blowout with Luigi's Mansion if they can come up with like a fun, inventive way to do multiplayer. That would be awesome. There was some in Dark Moon already. I didn't play the multiplayer a lot. I don't know if you did, but it's a big part of Switch. Playing together, playing single Joy-Con, those little vacuum things. Just point a Joy-Con around. It's like, come on, man. It's going to make perfect sense. I want to see where they go with the story here, because how many times is Luigi just going to be stuck in these mansions? So
many moons over. I want to clarify also that I don't think motion control is a big point of emphasis. I think that's why the Pro Controller is linked to it.
I hope it is. I mean,
we need that precision.
Sure. Okay. You know what else we need? Can move us on here to my Next prediction number 2, Zach.
Wait, before you get to this one, this has been your prediction. Like, this is the one that we knew you're going to make all year. Anyone watching should have known that this is the prediction.
All right, you guys know my love for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Davide and I have had conflict, not real conflict. I pointed a fake weapon at him during a picture.
Bullet bill.
I pointed a bullet bill at him. He was very scared. His team has been done with the game for a while. Right? Mm-hmm. The last time I went to like visit them, it was for the Donkey Kong DLC, and they had said that they were like pretty much done. And it's been some time since then, so I have to imagine they've been up to something. The game sold well. The game's on sale a lot now, so I mean, it seems like Ubisoft was happy with that, and I want to see how they could expand on this. And I'm gonna just full on say that it's a Kingdom Battle 2 sequel. Like, it's a full-on sequel. It's not like Zelda and Rabbids. I don't think they go anywhere far like that. They keep it Mario. I think that Rabbid Peach is still gonna be the charmer that she is. She's gonna take over the internet once again with whatever cool stuff she can. Maybe like a fake TikTok or something. I know these kids like TikTok. I don't even know what it is. I just know the kids like it.
They're so hip, man. Do you think that they expand on this, if it is to be revealed, with different characters, with more diverse mechanics? What would you see being the sequel part of this game?
Okay, so what you do is you expand on the RPG elements, right? Because the RPG elements in the one now, like, they're quite basic. You have the primary weapon, secondary, some cool armor, right? Some outfit changes that have like stat attributes. I think that could be really fun. On top of that, a completely different like setting, right? It's another corner of the kingdom. I mean, it's still the Mushroom Kingdom, I guess. New
characters though. Are we playing still as Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, or do we have a different assortment?
I think we keep a couple. In my head, if I'm designing the game, I would want to keep. You got to keep Mario, you got to keep Luigi and Peach, Rabbid Peach. Other than that, I don't know. Let's get some fresh faces in there. The Donkey Kong DLC brought in 2 fresh faces with Cranky and Donkey, and the gameplay that they had was just so unique and so different than what was already in the game. So I don't know. Maybe Toad gets some action this time, and instead of just guiding him to safety as one of the battle requirements, maybe he joins the battle somehow. I don't know. Or I mean, who knows? Like, Toad was already in the previous one, so maybe he steps up this time. I don't know. I'm struggling to think. Oh, you know what? I can't wait. Spoiler. The game's out. Well, Luigi, like some fun stuff with them, even though references.
They could definitely do that. Yeah. I wonder also if there's another adjacent universe that they might merge in. Mario and Donkey Kong kind of go together like butter and popcorn, so that one makes a lot of sense. It wouldn't be as coherent with Zelda, obviously, but perhaps you can bring someone else from the Smashverse over. You kind of like tap into, I don't know, some other Nintendo face that might be a good fit. But I feel like you're right. I hope that you're not. I'd love to see that team experiment with something new. I really would be over the moon if Nintendo, and even if they weren't, Nintendo wasn't involved directly with characters, but like allow Davide's team to make something that was original. I think that would be so special. But I do concur, and I feel like you're probably right on this one. My second prediction is that 2K shows up big. We know that they're very happy with Civilization and how that sold on the platform. We know that they haven't really done anything with Borderlands, which was to everyone's surprise and dismay, but I feel like they still have things in the works for the rest of the year. I'm going to specifically call out a BioShock collection. That game should be able to be ported over, and it would, I think, do well. It'd be fun. I would replay it. You would replay it. And I also think they bring XCOM to the platform, whether it's a collection or just XCOM 1 or 2. It makes sense. Civ worked. XCOM will work. I don't think they bring anything brand new or even from this year. I feel like they're older titles, but still quality ports that continue to build out that third-party line.
I would play BioShock again, but I've said this before. I don't think anyone really likes collections. I mean, we do, like the fans.
We do.
The companies. I don't think companies like collections as much as we do. Yeah. They keep releasing these games individually. They can make way more money that way. I mean,
but the only reason with this one that makes sense is because the collection itself was already a disc. Like, it already was an existing package, as opposed to like, hey, let's bundle Resident Evil or let's bundle Final Fantasy. Like, it makes more sense given that the collection already was released that way.
Sure. Okay. I'll give you that. That one does make full sense. You said it. I would 100% play the original BioShock again on Switch. Maybe even BioShock 2. I would probably not play through the entirety of Infinite, but it's still a super solid game.
That game has like lost so much luster over the years. People have grown so sick of it, which is sad.
I'm not sick of it. I just prefer the other two.
What they really need to do, though, is bring Evolve. Bring Evolve back to Switch. Have a new second coming of
Evolve Stage 3, baby.
Hey, there we go. I would love that. Not happening, but yeah, 2K.
Okay, let's keep it third party for a second here, Zach. Capcom, they love the Switch. They just put a bunch of Resident Evil games on it. Dante's coming, right? Mm-hmm. He's not coming to Smash, but he's coming to the Switch.
Yet.
Regardless, They have a fighting game that they like that used to do super well for them in Marvel vs. Capcom. They put out Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. They kind of wanted to take advantage of the popularity of the movies, and they went with the whole thing. They didn't call it Marvel vs. Capcom 4, but since that game flopped so tremendously, sales-wise it didn't do well. Fanfare-wise, terrible. It's not even at EVO anymore. Like it hasn't been for a while.
Right.
There's been rumblings that they are completely gonna just do away with that, pretend that doesn't exist, and take what exists there now, add all the characters we wanted the first time because Marvel didn't have the rights to X-Men and all this stuff when the game first came out. They have it all now, so maybe now Marvel's like, hey, do whatever you want. Throw Wolverine in there, throw all these characters that people like love for the past. Call it Marvel vs. Capcom 4. You spend way less money making it because it's not a brand new game. You have all the assets already. You tweak combat a little bit, boom, you have that, and then it becomes another perfect fighting game for Nintendo Switch. Mortal Kombat work, and that is a very pretty game on other platforms, and they still got that to run at 60 FPS. If Marvel vs. Capcom 4 does end up happening, it needs to be 60 FPS. I feel like they could do it. I don't know, something about this one. I have to cross my fingers because I do love these games. I was a king at Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I used to go to this pizza place. I used to go to drive 20 minutes to this pizza place a few times over. The pizza was good. Yeah, I was running that pizza place, man.
Well, I hope they bring it out for your sake. It's a bit of a convoluted path to this one actualizing, but it does make a lot of sense. Fighters do really well on Switch. If you're going to look to bring something new to Switch, well, that's a genre that is a pretty easy conversion. So it makes sense, and I think it could happen. Capcom does seem to work very well with Nintendo. I would rather them maybe tease Monster Hunter, but we'll take NBC. My third party pick for number 3 is from EA, and that is that Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 3 is revealed and emphasized on Switch. Yes, it will release everywhere. They're obviously really comfortable with the other platforms, but I think it'll get a Switch emphasis. It seems like the perfect game for that audience to take on the go, and one that Nintendo would love to have on board their console. A shooter that appeals to hardcore fans, but has the fun, the zest, the zeal, the colors of a Nintendo-type game. We're due for something new from Plants vs. Zombies. The first 2 did amazingly well. They were supported fantastically in a similar way to how Splatoon has been supported. So this feels like an ideal fit for Switch, and I have heard rumblings that PvZ GW3 is coming this year. EA does not have a press conference, but there's still plenty of time for them to announce it, maybe even at the Nintendo show.
That'd be cool. This is like low-key one of the best like multiplayer like experiences out there, really. I can't think of too many other like things that are like that like fun. And yeah, like it got like made fun of at first. It's like, oh, like what is this? Like you're playing as a corn currently, or like a sunflower. But once you get past all that, the gameplay is just so addictive, so fun. The gameplay loop and the unlock loop, right? You're constantly getting packs, and that's another thing that's like really big now, just like unlocking packs. And I know that nobody likes loot boxes anymore, but it was all really well done in Garden Warfare. So I wouldn't mind seeing that transition over. Zach, I'm sorry, I know you hate this. What about a battle royale mode with a whole bunch of flowers?
I wonder if they go to free-to-play with it. I mean, that's an option as well, that it could go free-to-play and just really double down on the sticker packs and things of that sort.
It's so hard to ignore Battle Royale, right, if you're that game?
Yeah, oh, for sure. And that may be a rare case where I'm actually intrigued to check it out. But I think it's a beautiful fit, and you're right. It would fill a multiplayer gap. It's a ton of fun, and the community around it has been strong to this day, which is awesome, and bodes really well for what it could do on Switch and other platforms.
Okay. All right, so that was another little third-party prediction. Thank you, Zach. I want to bring us back to Nintendo, where we rightfully belong.
Please do.
And I was going to say I belong in Hyrule, but this game doesn't even have Hyrule. So, Link's Awakening. It's happening. Probably a December game. We know that. I think there's a little more to the game than we might think. And I guess maybe what I'm going to take this with, there was that Best Buy listing, Zach. That was a weird listing for A Link to the Past. And there's I don't think there's a separate Link to the Past remake or anything like that, but what if it's like bundled together and there's just like something more to it? I'm now convinced. I've been thinking a lot about this since you mentioned this the other day off air. Like, dude, like that game is available for $6 on Virtual Console. How are they going to sell you this for $60 if it's just looking different and it's the exact same experience? So that had me thinking. I was like, man, you're right. They need to do something. And what better to just have a Link to the Past included in some fashion? Right? Maybe even just play the original game looking like the SNES version, like somehow. I don't know, through like a sub. I don't know. I feel like you have to do something else.
I think if they brought both games to the modern art style, that would placate fans in a big way, bringing back 2 awesome adventures in this beautiful, cute, fun new art and an aesthetic would be enough. Now, you're right. $6 on 3DS Virtual Console versus $60 on Switch. There is a lot here that I feel is up in the air. What they do with it when it releases, how much it costs, what's added, is anything added, how do they decide to tackle this? But you're right, that Best Buy listing, it's curious, and I think fans would feel a lot better buying this as a twofer. But as you mentioned, collections are something that companies don't like to do often, so maybe there's just more to Link's Awakening than we know. Perhaps there's other modes, maybe there is a more involved campaign, but you're right, 6 versus 60 is going to be an interesting conversation no matter what. We'll know more soon.
I was even wondering, like, could they just like string in a multiplayer mode where you can play the entire game multiplayer somehow? But that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And this being like a direct sequel to A Link to the Past, that kind of lines up a little bit more. I mean, I would love to see it, and I hope there's more there than we think. Because as excited I would be just to replay in that very cute art style, I want some new stuff. You were right. You've swayed me, because I told you, like, no, I'll still play through the game again, and I will. It's just some new stuff would be nice.
Absolutely. All right, my number 4 is that Nintendo loves to do day and date drops during their conference. Last year, Fortnite was a big one, Hollow Knight was a big one, 2 awesome eShop titles that have since become some of the most popular, best experiences available. This year, I think it's SNES VC. We've made multiple videos on the curious inclusion of a Super Nintendo logo that has been confirmed as a sound effect in Mario Maker 2, but it appears at 11:06. 6/11 is the date of the press conference. Why that coincidence? I think Nintendo's onto something here, and I think we finally open up the Switch Online Classic catalog to include SNES. Do I think this is a full realization of Virtual Console with purchasable games? No, but I do think we get that data mine list of 20 or so games from way back when included and added to the service. They emphasize Nintendo Switch Online. In every investor call game, they talk about how they want to continue to build memberships and continue to add value. I feel like incorporating Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Link to the Past, things of that sort, Super Metroid, that is a much, much better incentive than the NES library, and one that I think rings very true and well for fans at home at E3. You get to all of a sudden unlock Super Nintendo on Switch the day of the conference. Pretty sweet.
That is pretty sweet. I can't imagine it being 20 games at once. I mean, with NES, they're like giving us, 2 or 3. Or 3 in Japan.
They started with a few more.
Yeah, well, I mean, 3 is what it's at now. 2 for most months here in North America. 20's a lot. I wouldn't be shocked about it, but then I wonder, do they add multiplayer like for some of these things?
Yeah.
Because then that like takes a while. I think I feel like it would too.
They've had what, almost 3 years here?
Yeah, I guess. I don't feel as strongly about this one as you do, just because I think sort of I've buried my Virtual Console dreams out in the backyard, and I'm not digging those up. So I'm kind of just like defeated on that.
What's your day and date drop prediction then?
Cadence of Hyrule. I think we had the newsletter that went out to everyone. Like, we both got the newsletter that it was coming soon, and a couple other things that lead me to believe that it could be coming sooner than we think. So yeah, for me that would be awesome, right? Because it's not a big game, but it's also not small either. And
it's a special idea, letting an indie developer take Link and use them in their own creative game. I mean, something's going to drop at E3. We know that they've established that pattern. I think it's Virtual Console. Gabe thinks it's Cadence. Maybe we get both.
Hopefully. Okay, Zach. One other thing that hopefully we get, and this is the one that steps on the toes of my Pikmin time a little bit, Zach. We need a big multiplayer game. I said it at the top of the video. Mario Tennis Aces did really, really well. So why not replicate that with a more popular sport?
It's hard for me to even hear this one. I want it so bad, but I just don't think it's happening. Go for it.
It's Mario Strikers. Zach, they're making fans' dreams come true, right? No, who thought that we were going to ever get a Metroid Prime 4, right? Bayonetta 3, Super Mario Maker 2, they're giving us all what we want. And we want Mario Strikers. We've wanted Mario Strikers for a while. Games do well. Soccer/football, whatever you prefer to call it, is the most popular sport in the world. It makes sense. Multiplayer, some tournaments online, dude. Like, this is a no-brainer for me. Like, as far as Nintendo like making it, so it needs to exist at some point.
Well, it would definitely fall into the Mario Tennis Aces, Super Mario Party, Mario Strikers type space/genre, and be something that did really encourage awesome familial multiplayer. The big thing to me that stops my hype is we know that a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics is coming.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they want to merge multiple sports-focused titles into the same cycle. Now, maybe they do. That's much more of a Sega thing, so maybe they don't care so much. But I worry that right there is the nail in Mario Striker's coffin. But believe me, this is the one I would be most excited for. If this gets announced, that's my game of the show.
Yeah.
Because that second game, Striker's Charge, is so much fun. I spent so many hours on it, and I would be over the moon. Think about all the fun we had with Mario Tennis Aces, and then how extensively you played that online, the community, the fun. It's kind of worn out since, but we're going to get some great months of Mario Strikers, you and I, and then us in the world.
I mean, and just generally, like, I prefer, soccer to tennis. So just like me as a human, like, it's the sport I relate to a little bit more.
Sure.
And man, I was a mad soccer player when I was a kid. Way smaller, man. I was out there.
I played soccer all the way through 8th grade, so I'm not fantastic, more of a defensive guy. But.
Wait, so I don't think we go the entire Switch life cycle without getting a Strikers game.
I hope not. I really hope not. That would be sad.
Yeah.
You know what else we don't go the whole Switch life cycle with? Without? I had a dream, Gabe. I woke up from a beautiful dream, and I have to acknowledge that dream because that dream leads me to my 5th prediction. That dream led me to some research, and that dream leads me to predict that Mario Kart 9 is teased at this E3. It may be as little as some vroom vroom and tires scraping across the screen 2020, but it is time. We looked at the pattern of how they release Mario Kart games. Yes, Deluxe throws a wrench into the cycle a bit, but 2020 will still be 3 years, and typically they're on a 3-year cycle with Mario Kart. It's been many more than that since obviously the initial release of 8. This Switch will have a true Mario Kart, one that it can call its own. 8 Deluxe is phenomenal. The DLC is so cool. I love the tracks there. That game is one that you could pull out, and I'll be excited to play at any moment. But the Switch, with its popularity, with its success, deserves a dedicated Mario Kart, and I think that absolutely is happening. We heard the rumors previously about a Star Fox Racer. Those ended up evaporating. We've seen Diddy Kong Racing tossed around a number of times. Don't know that ever really materializes. There will be more Mario Kart, and I don't know based on early impressions that Mario Kart Tour is going to do it for most players, but Mario Kart 9 absolutely would. It would be a wow moment. It would be their megaton drop. We know that Metroid Prime 4 is not even close to being shown already. What did they close the show out with? Mario Kart 9.
Dude, man. I don't believe this happens in the slightest. I think there's a less than 1% chance. But
I think it could happen.
I mean, if this happens, this is the show of the show. Like, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about Strikers. Like, I think 8 Deluxe is still selling. Like, that thing is like one of the best sellers on Switch, and it has all the content ever. Like, people like I've asked like openly on Reddit and Reset Era Twitter, like, what do you even do with the next one? Right? For me, I think a lot of people would really enjoy a Double Dash sequel of some kind, like something like that could be fun. Go back to that formula. But it's a similar problem with Smash, right? Like, what do you do after Ultimate?
Well, I think it'd be perfectly fine to have a new Mario Kart with new tracks, more Nintendo franchise inclusion, more characters, more online modes. But this is a franchise that will sell again, and it will sell to new Switch users, especially if we are to eventually get other versions of the Switch. There is going to be room for new Mario Kart, and whether or not 8 Deluxe is still selling, Mario games still sell, Zelda games still sell. That doesn't prevent them from evolving, and I cannot see a world where we go an entire Switch lifecycle with just a DLC wrapped in a bow, old version of Mario Kart.
Okay. Can I put you on the spot? This is done. That prediction's done. You think it's possible at all? I don't think it's possible in any way.
Yes.
Now I want to throw an honorable mention out there. Can I throw a wrench in this video?
Yeah.
Zach, man, wonderful 101. What's up, man?
Again, dude, he's trying to bring over all the ones that didn't come true last year. So you can have a perfect
only
record.
2 of them from last year didn't come true. I'm bringing them both
Did
back.
very, very, very well. I'm very impressed by that. I don't know how I feel about those Wii U ports. Like they've dried up, but maybe they come back with a charge. We'll have to wait
They
and see.
sell so much.
Definitely a lot of stuff is coming. It's a big show. They're clearing space. It's going to be awesome. Let us know what you think of our predictions and your predictions in the comments down below. Those are our 10, our top 5 each. We want to hear from you now. So hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. I'm pumped for E3. We will be there in 10 days.
Yeah,
we're getting super close.
Yeah.
Less than 10 days. It is single digits now, and that is the best. So until that time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Fantastic day. Let us know your take in the comments. For myself and Gabe, Switch Force